If we could give a round of applause again for our panelists, our partners, and as Scott Ellen Davis said, we at Vanguard, we love partners. They help us do the work that we do. So again, thanks to everyone. I'd like to mention a few brief things before we get into the Q&A. And if you have your questions, if you could raise your index card so that someone can come around and get them, that would be great. One thing at Milwaukee Junction Business Center is we are an incubator. We have nonprofit and for-profit businesses. We are also a resource center where the community comes in and use our workstations. They can make copies for certain fees, and then we also have services for tenants for offices as well as member services, which include mailbox, voicemail, and some other amenities. So if you're interested, I actually have my business card over on the table with my telephone number. Tomorrow, if you'll be here tomorrow, and I hope you will, we will be giving you a Milwaukee Junction Small Business Center resource tool that has the contact information of our partners because they'll be coming in once a month in order to do consulting. And there's a telephone number you will need to call them to schedule when you want to come in here on the north end. So after the Q&A, there'll be an opportunity to take a break, and it's my hope that you will network with one another. This is a short event. However, it's valuable that you all get to know one another and support one another in business and get excited about business. Finally, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. The feedback sheets. We at Vanguard love feedback because it helps us improve the work that we do and serve you, and that's what we're here to do. So please, please be sure to fill out your feedback sheet before the close of the session today, and you can leave it on the table or put it on that background table back there, and we will gather those so that we can improve whatever it is that you recommend. If I can get those questions, get started on the questions here. And feel free, if you need to go get some more refreshments, by all means do so. One of the questions someone is asking, how can I get help in writing grants? Well, I can start by answering first off. Vanguard Community Development Corporation has grant writing workshops. And as a matter of fact, before you leave, we can have Chris bring out some of the flyers that actually have the grant writing workshop information. That's a great way to have access to a grant writing class. Does anyone on the panel like to respond to some grant writing classes?
Okay, so companies that are looking for grants usually are nonprofit entities, right? So it's great that there's a workshop for it, and I wasn't aware that you guys had a workshop, so I'm excited to have that resource. At the same time, you can also, if you have not fully established your nonprofit entity, think about becoming a contractor with a nonprofit. If you have an idea or a skill set or something that you can bring to the table for a nonprofit, and even if you know that there's a grant out there, you could go to a nonprofit that exists that maybe that's in their scope and pitch it with yourself as a consultant on performing on that grant as a small business owner. So you don't always have to start a new nonprofit to achieve a goal or work through grant funding. I receive grant funding, or I'm paid through grant funding as well as a consultant. So there's ways to work in the nonprofit sphere, use your experience, and also bolster your small business without necessarily being a nonprofit. So just the flip side of that coin.
I guess I got to be the negative guy on this one. Grants are very, very difficult to get a hold of. And we at SCORE work with people trying to get grants, but we suggest that they write a strong business plan that would qualify them for a loan through conventional sources. And for example, from a bank. I had a client just received a grant from a private corporation. She applied for it 2.5 years ago, but she's been in business 2.5 years on money that she raised, through other means. So grants are important, but if you're waiting for a grant to start a business, you might have to wait a long time.
I think between Sean and Don, they illustrated the different value of having a consultant, sitting down with a consultant, so that you can get the best advice toward moving your business forward, whether it's financing or the legal side of the house. So that's why we value consultants, and I hope that you will participate in those services. A question for Vanessa. They want to know, what time do you have the intro to the microloan seminar on Tuesday?
The orientation for the microloan will be Tuesday at 10 o'clock. It lasts approximately an hour, hour and a half. And all you need to bring is pen and paper. We go over the process of the loan and give out the application at that time. And if you are in the city of Detroit, that is a requirement of the city that you attend the orientation. But if you're not, you can attend it for information purposes. It's a good class. You don't have to attend the meeting, but it is good for information processes.
Another question for you, Vanessa. Okay, what, if any, is the fee for biz training, especially for certification? How does one apply? What is involved?
We have a certification manager in our Ann Arbor office. I can give you that information. We have some brochures on the back table. Okay. And then also, the fee ranges, depends on the size of your business. It starts at about $300 and goes up from there for the certification. Now, our training classes we offer are the small business financial tools class, and also the basic, business plan class. And those classes run about $95 to $100 for a 4-week course. Also, you get the booklets that are worth more than the what you actually pay for the class.
And then a question to me was, which partners came in? We have Betsy Gerwitz from Wayne State University Law School, the Legal Business Clinic. Vanessa Rucker, she's here with CEED. Then we have Nancy Gross from the Michigan Small Business Association, SBA. And then we have Sean Gray, he's with Michigan's Small Business Technology Development Center. Did I get that right? All right. And then Donald Collier from SCORE. A question for you, Betsy, is how soon can someone begin receiving legal counseling? And do you support with patents and real estate?
Our application requires, there's a paper form you fill out, but we also require a business plan. So it's we start looking at clients once you have that business plan developed. As far as patents and real estate go, that's out of the scope of our clinic. Yes.
I'm going to read this one. It says, I am constantly impressed with the amount of resources available to minority business community, both by ethnicity, gender, and race, and organizations. Yet as a retired consultant, I constantly encounter people who are unaware of the breadth of resources available. Is there a central source of communication that uses a media available to all people? This is actually a great question. And it's actually, and I'll start by addressing that one. Many organizations in Detroit provide a number of business support resources. Detroit Economic Growth Corporation is in the process of pulling together a business support network group. We meet often to begin to start leveraging our assets around business so that we can have one specific way to do business. So if somebody says, for example, I want to start a business in Detroit, there's a clear direction on who to go to and what fees and all those other particulars, and that'll be tied into the city processes as well, which they're going to speak to on Thursday. Again, streamlining process is important for doing business in the city, so that is a work in progress. Anyone else want to add to that?
There is only to the degree, Regina, that there are a number of organizations that are available that offer free counseling. So, take advantage of them. And I think the resource guide has, that Nancy has mentioned to you, it's back on the back table, has a number of organizations that I'm sure would be very happy to hear from you.
Are our services limited to this neighborhood? No, they are not limited to the neighborhood. As a matter of fact, Milwaukee Junction Small Business Center tenants and members come from other different cities as well and other parts of the neighborhood.